Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance you possess DNA so rare it grants you abilities that most humans will never experience. You might be able to survive accidents that would kill others. You could see millions of colors that exist beyond normal human perception. Or your body might function perfectly on half the sleep that everyone else desperately needs. These aren't science fiction fantasies. They're real genetic mutations carried by people living ordinary lives, completely unaware they possess what amounts to biological superpowers. For centuries, we dismissed stories of individuals with extraordinary abilities as myths. But modern genetics has proven something remarkable. Human evolution hasn't stopped, it's accelerated. And some of us are carrying the blueprints for humanity's next upgrade. Sign 1. The Unbreakable Bones. Medical records from around the world tell the same impossible story. People who have never broken a single bone despite decades of high-risk activities. Construction workers who've survived multiple falls. Athletes who've crashed at high speeds. Children who've tumbled from dangerous heights. Each case seemed like a medical anomaly until researchers began connecting the dots. Medical researchers studying these remarkable cases discovered they all shared a rare mutation in the LRP5 gene, first identified in several families worldwide, and later found in isolated populations across the globe. The mutation emerged roughly 2,000 years ago in different human populations independently, a case of convergent evolution, creating the same extraordinary adaptation multiple times. The LRP5 gene acts like a master switch for bone density. When functioning normally, it maintains bones strong enough for daily life, while allowing them to break under extreme stress. An evolutionary safety valve that prevents worse injuries. The mutation removes this safety valve entirely. Bone density increases to levels that approach those of fossilized remains, creating skeletons that appear brilliant white on X-rays compared to normal bone. Medical literature now documents dozens of these families worldwide. Stories emerge of children falling from second-story windows and landing on concrete with no injuries. Ranchers surviving being trampled by cattle multiple times. Workers in dangerous professions who seem mysteriously immune to the bone-breaking accidents that sideline their colleagues. In each case, what should have been catastrophic accidents became mere inconveniences. These families' medical histories read like studies in impossible survival. Grandparents who worked in dangerous jobs without modern safety equipment, surviving falls and impacts that would have killed ordinary people. Their children chose careers where their invulnerability proved advantageous. The grandchildren grew up fearless, participating in extreme activities with confidence that worried their more fragile friends. But their DNA demanded payment for this gift. Several family members developed craniosynostosis, where skull bones fuse prematurely, trapping expanding brains in cages of bone. Others lost hearing, as their middle ear bones became too dense to vibrate. The same genetic code that made them unbreakable was slowly turning their skeletons into prisons. What if there are people walking among us right now who can see colors that don't exist in your world, so vivid that you've been living in a muted version of reality your entire life? We're revealing the lost tribe whose DNA holds the secret to night vision that rivals military technology, and the genetic discovery that explains why some families have produced geniuses for over 400 years. Sign 2. The World of Hidden Colors. What if everything you think you know about color is wrong? What if the sunset you find breathtaking is actually a pale shadow of reality? And the forest you see as richly green contains symphonies of color that exist beyond your perception. Some women walk through a world painted with millions of hues that most humans will never see. They possess a fourth type of color receptor that transforms their vision into something approaching the supernatural. Scientific breakthrough came when researchers tested women whose genetic profiles suggested tetrachromacy, possessing 4 types of cone cells instead of the normal 3. Using specialized computer monitors that could display colors beyond normal human perception, scientists discovered subjects who could distinguish between hues that appeared identical to everyone else in the lab. The mutation responsible sits on the X chromosome, explaining why tetrachromacy affects women almost exclusively. Men with only one X chromosome cannot carry the necessary genetic combination. This mutation likely emerged around 40,000 years ago as humans migrated into diverse environments, where enhanced color vision provided survival advantages. Artists diagnosed with tetrachromacy describe their world in ways that sound almost supernatural. They see purple in shadows that others perceive as gray. Flowers display spectrums of color that exist beyond normal human vocabulary. When they paint, they must deliberately dull their palette because cameras and standard displays cannot capture what they observe. Historical evidence suggests tetrachromacy may have influenced human culture in unexpected ways. Some art historians now theorize that certain painters throughout history may have possessed this enhanced vision. The extraordinary color sensitivity in works by artists like Monet, who painted the same haystack dozens of times in different lighting, might reflect a genuine ability to perceive subtle variations invisible to most observers. The mutation creates a peculiar form of isolation. Tetrachromats often spend childhood wondering if others are partially colorblind, unable to understand why family members can't see obvious differences between supposedly matching items. As adults, they may work in professions that exploit their superior color discrimination, becoming textile designers, art conservators, or quality control specialists in industries where minute color variations matter enormously. Yet possessing the genetic markers for tetrachromacy doesn't guarantee this expanded vision. The brain must learn to process the additional information, and many who carry the mutation never develop functional enhanced color perception. Scientists estimate only 25% of genetic tetrachromats actually experience the world in expanded color, making true tetrachromacy rarer than winning most lotteries. The rest live unknowing, carrying dormant superpowers locked away in unused neural pathways. Sign 3. The Sleepless Superhumans. While you're lying in bed struggling to get 8 hours of sleep, there are people who've been thriving on 4 hours a night for their entire lives. No caffeine addiction, no afternoon crashes, no brain fog or exhaustion. They simply wake up after 4 hours completely refreshed, as if their bodies operate on an entirely different biological system. When doctors first studied these individuals, they expected to find evidence of severe health problems. Instead, they discovered something that challenged everything we thought we knew about human sleep requirements. Research teams discovered these remarkable people carried mutations in the DEC2 gene, a critical component of our internal clock system. The mutation was extraordinarily rare, found in less than 1% of people who claim to be natural short sleepers. Scientists have identified only about 50 confirmed families worldwide carrying verified short sleep mutations. People with this genetic variant report living completely different lives than the rest of us. While most humans struggle with tiredness and need long recovery periods, these individuals maintain steady energy throughout the day. They wake up naturally after just 4 hours, feeling completely refreshed, never needing alarms or multiple cups of coffee to function. The mathematics of their existence are staggering. While normal humans spend roughly 1/3 of their lives unconscious, these people gain thousands of extra waking hours each year. By age 60, they've essentially lived the equivalent of an extra decade compared to everyone else. They experience no afternoon crashes, no brain fog during typically sleepy hours, and maintain consistent energy levels that would exhaust most people trying to keep up. The mutation appears to have emerged independently in different populations. Scientists found similar genetic variants in families from Turkey, Italy, and Japan, suggesting this advantageous mutation arose multiple times throughout human evolution. Archaeological evidence from 10,000-year-old sites shows patterns of 24-hour human activity, potentially indicating that short sleep mutations provided crucial advantages to early agricultural societies. These individuals gain an extra 4 hours every single day. That's 28 extra hours per week, over 1,400 additional waking hours per year. In a lifetime, they experience roughly 12 more years of conscious existence than the average person. Recent brain imaging studies reveal how the mutation fundamentally rewires sleep architecture. Normal humans cycle through multiple sleep stages, spending roughly 25% of sleep time in crucial REM phases. Short sleepers compress these cycles dramatically, achieving the same restorative benefits in half the time. Their brains essentially run a more efficient operating system. The long-term consequences remain one of medicine's most intriguing mysteries. The oldest documented short sleepers have lived to advanced ages with no unusual health problems. But researchers have only been tracking these families for relatively short periods. Are these individuals evolutionary pioneers, testing humanity's next upgrade? Or are they running biological experiments that will reveal their costs only after decades? Their DNA may hold the key to doubling human productive lifespan, or it may be writing checks their bodies will eventually be forced to pay. Sign 4. The bitter truth. About supertasters. Picture biting into dark chocolate and experiencing such overwhelming bitterness that your face contorts in genuine pain. Or taking a sip of black coffee and feeling like you've swallowed poison. For roughly 25% of the population, this isn't an exaggeration or personal preference. It's their biological reality. These individuals possess tongues covered with twice as many taste buds as normal humans, turning every bitter compound into an assault on their senses. A simple accident in a chemistry lab would eventually reveal why some people experience food as pleasure, while others face it as a daily minefield. A breakthrough discovery came when a chemist accidentally spilled a bitter compound, causing one colleague to complain about the overwhelming taste, while another noticed nothing at all. This moment led to the realization that humans experience dramatically different taste worlds based on their genetics. The TAS2R38 gene controls sensitivity to bitter compounds found throughout nature. Evolutionary biologists believe this mutation emerged around 800,000 years ago, as early humans spread into diverse environments containing different toxic plants. Populations that encountered more bitter toxins developed heightened sensitivity as a survival mechanism. Supertasters possess roughly 16,000 taste buds compared to the 8,000 found in average people. Under magnification, their tongues appear to be covered in tiny mountains, each one a sensory organ capable of detecting bitter compounds, but concentrations measured in parts per billion. These individuals can detect bitterness in substances that register as completely tasteless to others. The mutation's effects extend far beyond just avoiding bitter foods. Historical analysis suggests that supertasters may have influenced culinary traditions worldwide. Regions with higher concentrations of supertaster genetics developed cooking methods that neutralize bitter compounds. Extensive use of dairy in Northern European cuisine. Complex spice blends in areas where bitter vegetables were dietary staples. And fermentation techniques that break down harsh plant compounds. Research revealed that supertasters often become inadvertent food innovators. Many famous chefs carry supertaster genetics, their hypersensitive palates allowing them to detect flavor imbalances that others miss entirely. They instinctively know which ingredients will clash or complement each other at levels most people cannot perceive. The mutation also correlates with unexpected health outcomes. Studies show supertasters consume fewer high-fat foods, avoid alcohol more frequently, and tend to have lower rates of cardiovascular disease. Their genetic hypersensitivity to bitter compounds may protect them from consuming dangerous substances throughout their lives. But this gift transforms every meal into a potential minefield. Many supertasters report childhood struggles with family dinners, being labeled as picky eaters when they were experiencing genuine physical pain from foods others enjoyed. Some develop food anxiety or restrictive eating patterns as they struggle to navigate a culinary world designed for less sensitive palates. Their heightened taste abilities become both blessing and curse, granting them extraordinary culinary perception while making simple social eating a daily challenge, requiring constant navigation and explanation. Sign 5. The Double-Edged Beauty. Ancient Roman historian Pliny the Elder wrote that Cleopatra VII possessed eyes so mesmerizing they could command the attention of gods and mortals alike. Modern geneticists believe they know why. Analysis of Ptolemaic family records and artistic depictions suggests Egypt's most famous queen carried distichiasis, a mutation causing double rows of eyelashes that created her legendary hypnotic gaze. The FOXC2 gene mutation, responsible for distichiasis, affects roughly 1 in 10,000 people worldwide. The mutation emerged approximately 5,000 years ago in Mediterranean populations, spreading through royal bloodlines that practiced intermarriage to preserve divine physical traits. Ancient royal families maintained detailed genealogical records that show recurring patterns of unusual eye characteristics across multiple generations. Medical researchers have documented hundreds of cases of distichiasis in recent decades. Their findings reveal that the condition affects women more severely than men, with female patients reporting more complications and requiring more frequent medical interventions. The extra eyelashes grow from modified oil glands along the eyelid margin, creating a dramatic framing effect that ancient cultures associated with divine beauty. Historical records from the Byzantine Empire describe Emperor Justinian's wife Theodora as possessing similar striking eyes that bore the mark of celestial favor. Medieval manuscripts mention noble families in which double eyelashes appeared across multiple generations, often interpreted as signs of royal bloodline authenticity. Renaissance artists frequently painted subjects with unusually full lashes, possibly documenting real individuals with this genetic trait. The mutation's modern medical consequences often prove severe. Patients undergo repeated procedures to remove misdirected lashes that scratch the cornea with every blink. Some require permanent surgical removal of entire lash follicles, while others need regular trimming sessions every few weeks. The condition can lead to chronic dry eye, corneal scarring, and, in extreme cases, vision loss. Recent genetic analysis of Ptolemaic mummy remains suggests Cleopatra may have suffered from the same complications that affect modern patients. CT scans of royal mummies from her era show evidence of eye trauma consistent with chronic corneal irritation. Historical accounts describe her using elaborate eye cosmetics and treatments, possibly attempts to manage the discomfort caused by her genetically enhanced but medically problematic beauty. Today's patients face an impossible choice between vanity and vision. Some undergo repeated surgical procedures to remove misdirected lashes, only to watch them regrow within months. Others live with constant eye irritation, their legendary beauty coming at the price of perpetual discomfort. Each blink becomes a reminder that evolution's most stunning creations often carry hidden thorns, that the very DNA that makes them extraordinarily beautiful may ultimately steal the vision that allows them to see their own reflection. Sign 6. The odorless existence. There are people who have never bought deodorant in their lives. Not because they forget, not because they're careless about hygiene, but because their bodies literally cannot produce body odor. While billions of dollars are spent annually on antiperspirants and deodorants, these individuals move through life completely free from one of humanity's most universal anxieties. But this genetic gift comes with a hidden cost that cuts them off from millions of years of human evolutionary communication. A grounded discovery challenged fundamental assumptions about human biology. When scientists studying earwax genetics across different populations found that the same gene responsible for earwax consistency also controlled body odor production. The ABCC11 gene mutation that created dry earwax also eliminated the chemical precursors that bacteria transform into human scent. The mutation reaches near universal levels in some East Asian populations, affecting 95% of people in Korea and Japan, 92% in northern China, but only 2% in populations of African descent. This dramatic variation suggests the mutation provided significant advantages in specific environments and climates, where reduced scent production improved survival odds. This mutation is most common in East Asia, but could you have it too? Archaeological evidence from 40,000-year-old sites in Asia shows that early human settlements often lacked the elaborate bathing facilities found in contemporary African and European sites. Scientists theorize that populations migrating into colder climates, where frequent washing was difficult, may have gained survival advantages from reduced body odor that didn't attract predators or signal human presence to potential threats. The mutation's cultural implications proved equally significant. Traditional Japanese architecture developed without bathroom ventilation systems that were standard in other cultures. Japanese social customs around personal space and public bathing evolved differently than in societies where body odor management required constant attention. The mutation essentially shaped entire cultural approaches to hygiene and social interaction. Further studies discovered that the same genetic variant affects multiple aspects of human chemistry. People with the mutation produce different types of skin oils, altered immune responses in armpit bacteria, and modified pheromone production. Their bodies essentially operate on an entirely different chemical foundation than the global human majority. People who discover they have this mutation often experience a mind-bending shift in how they see themselves. Many describe always wondering why everyone else seemed obsessed with antiperspirants, assuming it was simply aggressive marketing, convincing people they had problems that didn't really exist. Learning that they're biologically different can be both freeing and deeply unsettling. Additional investigations revealed that the mutation affects not just body odor production, but also smell sensitivity. People with the ABCC11 variant often show reduced ability to detect certain human pheromones, suggesting they exist partially outside the chemical communication system that has shaped human social behavior for millennia. This discovery forces those who carry the mutation to confront an unsettling question. What crucial information are they missing? Some people report wondering whether their social interactions or romantic relationships might be affected by their inability to detect or produce the chemical signals that create attraction and compatibility. They may be navigating human relationships with one sense effectively disabled. Moving through a world of chemical conversations they can neither hear nor speak. Their mutation grants them freedom from one biological anxiety, while potentially cutting them off from millions of years of evolutionary communication. These 6 mutations represent evolutionary experiments that began thousands of years ago and continue today. Each emerged at specific moments when human populations faced environmental pressures that rewarded unusual biological adaptations. The superhuman bones appeared when falling and injury were constant threats. Enhanced color vision developed as humans entered diverse ecosystems requiring fine visual discrimination. Sleep efficiency evolved in societies where vigilance meant survival. Geneticists estimate that humans carry roughly 60 new mutations per generation. Most disappear within a few hundred years, proving harmful or useless. But occasionally, random genetic changes create advantages so powerful they spread through entire populations over millennia. Modern genetics reveals that human evolution hasn't stopped. It has accelerated. Urban environments, global travel, and technological pressures are creating new selective advantages for traits that barely existed a century ago. The short sleep mutation may become more common as society increasingly rewards productivity and constant availability. Enhanced sensory perception could prove crucial as we navigate information-dense digital environments. Current research suggests we're witnessing the emergence of dozens of new, advantageous mutations. Some protect against diseases that have only existed since industrialization. Others enhance cognitive abilities that weren't necessary before the development of complex technology. The mutations we've discussed today may represent just the beginning of a new phase in human evolution. The individuals carrying these genetic gifts serve as living laboratories, their daily experiences providing clues about where human biology might be heading. Their struggles with complications and social isolation also reveal the costs of being evolutionary pioneers, the first humans to test genetic changes that may eventually transform our entire species. So what do these rare DNA mutations really show us? They remind us that normal might not be the limit of what humans can be. Somewhere out there, someone might never get tired, see colors we can't even imagine, or survive things that would stop anyone else. They're not weird or broken. They're glimpses of what we could become someday. And who knows, maybe you carry something special in your DNA too.